Welcome back to What She Said. Well, I made it to Houston. Y'all know last night I was in New Orleans and I happily posted video of me downtown New Orleans and hoping and wishing that Colorado could play in the Sugar Bowl. And if we don't make the Sugar Bowl, I'm hoping that my second choice, the Peach Bowl, because I live in Atlanta, is where we land. And we make it to the Big 12. After we make it past the Big 12 championship, I hope we play Miami. So this is how it goes. I hope that Colorado makes it to the Big 12 championship, defeats BYU, goes on to play Miami in the college playoff series, the 12-team series. And then we play as a reward in the Peach Bowl. And then for the quarterfinals or the finals, we begin playing somebody in the Sugar Bowl, and then maybe go on to the Rose Bowl or something like that. So let's talk about, in less than 12 hours, Colorado will kick off at 11 a.m. Central. It's an early game. So really it's gonna be more like an elevated practice at Folsom Field. So that gives us home field advantage. But let's talk about the theory that I have on who the refs are gonna choose to side with tomorrow, knowing that they had a recent run-in where they were criticized by Utah's athletic director, and he was promptly fined $40,000. That's why y'all don't hear Coach Prime say anything. And then there's the history that Colorado has. Pass interference been weaponized against us, taunting weaponized against us, touchdown call back, 15-yard penalty, etc. So here's my theory. All right, so I believe that I saw the play and I didn't really focus on it too much. It was a holding call. That holding call came with, I think, a 10-yard penalty that pushed BYU closer to the pin to score, and they did. They won by 1 point. And fans are split. Some fans say it was holding, some say it wasn't, right? But this is why I keep telling y'all Colorado has to run up the score. In fact, the key to the victory, the number one key to victory for Colorado this week, we're gonna talk about it, run up the score. I say the same thing every week because since that, Kansas State game, that's exactly how we lost. We came too close and we can't do that. We have to remember, we're not just playing the opponent. We have to defend ourselves against the ref. And the number one way to do that is to run up the score. So let's get back to this theory. Okay, so I believe that some players actually get away with holding. Now, it's not a secret, but I believe that the NCAA or the refs were actually protecting BYU's undefeated status. I think the fact that Utah's like 4-5, and maybe if they'd have won, they would be 5-5. And then if they beat somebody else, they could go to a bowl game, right? But I really think the refs were protecting BYU's undefeated status as the king of the Big 12. Because what would have happened if BYU lost? Would that have made Colorado a little closer? Maybe 1 or 2 games closer to making it to number one? So let's go with that theory. The refs were protecting BYU's undefeated status so that Colorado doesn't inch into that spot. Let's go with that. So if that's the case, theory number 2, when it comes to Utah versus Colorado, who the refs are going to protect? They're going to protect Utah. They're going to protect Utah. I said this even before the number one theory came out because, like Coach Livingston said, everybody wants to tear us down. F them, right? So I believe we cannot let this game be close because I think the refs are going to be like, you know what? If it comes down to less than a touchdown or less than a field goal, or they could win by 1, holding, there are 3 calls that the refs can weaponize. They have a pure judgment call, pass interference, and we've already seen it weaponized against Colorado multiple times. Taunting, we've already seen it weaponized against Colorado multiple times. And the third one is holding. Holding is what got Utah. If there was not a holding penalty called on Utah, chances are BYU may have not scored. I mean, the closer you are to the goal, the easier it is, right? So, you know, that's what happened. So Colorado has to protect themselves. Knowing that it's possible that theory number 2 is the refs will want to protect Utah, maybe like as a way of extending an apology after stealing the BYU game. In other words, it's nothing personal, but we need them to stay undefeated. Because if BYU goes and lose 1 or 2 games that Colorado inches in, because everybody has already said Colorado will win the remaining games. We have Utah, Kansas. Y'all haven't heard nothing about Kansas all season. And then Oklahoma State. So that's theory number 2. The refs, when it comes to being biased, they'll be biased against Colorado and they'll protect Utah, maybe to try to give them game number 5. So maybe they can win 1 more and get their game number 6 as an apology for taking the BYU game from them. And so those are my 2 theories. And let's talk about the keys to the victory, because my 2 theories, one, that between BYU and Utah, the refs protected BYU's undefeated status so Colorado don't climb into that number 1 seat. And number 2, when it comes to Utah versus Colorado, the refs will likely protect Utah in terms of weaponizing penalties so that, 1, Colorado will lose. That's it. Now let's talk about the keys to victory. Okay, the keys to victory. Number 1, it's my number 1 every week. Run up the score. You know, people say we have to start early. I'm like, the team is resilient. So if for whatever reason we don't start early, we coming in the second half. And I personally don't care which half it is, but I do not want to turn on the TV and see 0-13. When I turned on the TV and saw 0-13 last week, I'm like, bro, like what happened? And I still don't know what happened. So run up the score. Should we score early? Score early. They're already wounded. They're doubtful that they can win because they lost Utah has lost their starting quarterback and they lost their backup, who actually looked pretty good against BYU. I was like, oh, we got to get ready for him. This could be one of those sleeper games. But now he's out for the rest of the season. So they have Isaac Wilson. They say it's Zach Wilson's brother. Zach Wilson plays in the NFL. And I saw a fan comment from Utah that said, oh my, we're stuck with Isaac Wilson. He'll probably overthrow the ball into the stands. So he must have an issue overthrowing the ball. I haven't looked at him. So they have an issue. They essentially don't have a quarterback. And then I think they lost one of their running backs or receivers. Now they're going to try to run the ball. So we have to stop the run. And I think people have finally stopped asking the question, can Colorado stop the run? After the UCF game, yes, Colorado can stop the run. After the Texas Tech game, yes, Colorado can stop the run. So Vegas has favored Colorado to win by 13 points. I say 2 touchdowns. I don't know what makes them come up with 13, but it's 2 touchdowns. And if y'all know what the spread is by Vegas, feel free to drop it in the comments because I didn't have a chance to look at it. And then number 3, no taunting whatsoever. If you are doubtful if it is taunting or not, just don't do it. You play for Colorado. You can't do it. Sorry. I know it's not right, but you can't risk it. You got too much to lose. So no taunting. In fact, Preston Hodge, I noticed when he wraps up a defender afterwards, he just get up and move on. Like 1 down, 3 more to go. That's how you have to play. That's the mindset. It's hard to tell people to hide their emotions, but taunting will work against you, and you do not want to be the player that causes Colorado a penalty, that puts Utah in position to score, and heaven forbid, and I'm not going to say it, just no taunting. No taunting. Number 4, defense wins championships. Everybody plays us as their Super Bowl. So defense got to do what they got to do. Come in hungry. Don't be comfortable because we're at home. It's in 10 a.m. kickoff, so it's kind of like an elevated practice. Be hungry. I know we're in good position, but we need to see that hunger that we saw when they played Swag Surf, which I don't know why they played that. And then we need to see that hunger that we saw when we were trying to get in position. So defense, I need y'all to be hungry. I need y'all to still want to get to the NFL. Even if y'all got good looks from scouts, they still coming to practice. This is where you show up and show out and go hard and finish strong these last 3 games. So that's number 4. Defense wins championships. I need the defense to bring it. One thing about it, we know for a fact our offense is going to score multiple times. I need a pick 6 from Travis and Preston Hodge or Cameron Silver-Craig. I need like 3 sacks before we even go into the locker room from either Keaton Wade, Lavonta Bentley, Arden Walker, Nakai Hill-Green. Yeah, all of that. Chidozie, just bring it. Just bring it. And because when they see that type of enthusiasm and fierceness and we win by, say, 41-27, that helps us with the great bowl game selection. Y'all know I want to go to the Sugar Bowl. I feel like the Peach Bowl is a consolation prize, but I'm willing to go back to New Orleans so y'all can go to the Sugar Bowl and hopefully play Texas. So that's number 4. So those are the 4 keys to victory. Run up the score. Dominate before you go into the locker room. No taunting. Remember the 3 calls that the refs can weaponize against you: pass interference, taunting, and holding. So your technique has to be flawless, especially when it comes to holding. And defense wins championships. I need the defense to bring it. Okay, so y'all let me know your thoughts about my theories, my 2 theories regarding why Utah lost and why the refs might favor Utah over Colorado for this game, and the 4 keys to victory. So that's it for me. I'm going to say buenas noches, good night, and I'll see y'all bright and early tomorrow. Peace. Let's go Bucks. Y'all look, playoff quarterfinal, All-State Sugar Bowl, New Year's Day. I hope Colorado get to play in the Sugar Bowl. Yeah, I looked up there and saw the black and gold and just knew that said Colorado. That's the Saints. Oh, Lord.